August 2nd, 2025. The Aces got destroyed at home, 111-58, the largest home loss in WNBA history. Critics declared the Dynasty dead. Social media exploded with mockery. Vegas barely held on to the 8th playoff spot at 500. Everything they'd built over 3 years seemed to be collapsing. But what happened next would shock the entire basketball world. Nobody saw this coming when the franchise was stuck in Utah as the Stars, one of the worst teams in the league. They never made noise, never won anything. Then they moved to San Antonio, changed their name to the Silver Stars, and still couldn't crack the code. 17 years of mediocrity across 2 cities. The finals in 2008 ended in heartbreak. When they relocated to Las Vegas in 2018, expectations were low. This wasn't a destination franchise. This was just another struggling team trying to find its identity in the desert. But owner Mark Davis had other plans. The man who owns the Raiders knew exactly what he was doing. He didn't just want a team. He wanted a championship machine, and he was willing to spend whatever it took to make it happen. December 31st, 2021. The announcement that changed everything. Becky Hammon was coming home to the WNBA as head coach of the Las Vegas Aces. But this wasn't just any coaching hire. Davis made Hammon the highest-paid coach in WNBA history at over $1 million per year. Critics questioned the move. She'd never been a head coach at this level. She'd spent 8 years as an assistant with the Spurs under Greg Popovich, sure. But could she actually lead a team to a championship? Some said Davis was overpaying. Others called it a publicity stunt. The doubters would soon be eating their words. Hammon inherited a talented roster built around Aja Wilson, the #1 pick from 2018. Wilson was special from day one, winning Rookie of the Year. But she'd already tasted bitter defeat twice. The 2020 finals saw her team swept by Seattle in the bubble. Then in 2021, Phoenix's Brittany Griner blocked her potential game-tying shot in the semifinals. Wilson literally had success smacked back in her face. Those failures haunted her. They drove her to become something more. Hammon saw that hunger immediately. She recognized Wilson's unbelievable talent, but knew there was room for growth. The coach pushed her superstar to evolve her game, add a three-point shot, develop new moves. More importantly, Hammon built a culture of accountability and toughness. No excuses, no shortcuts, just championship-level basketball every single day. The pieces around Wilson were already in place. Kelsey Plum, the scoring machine. Chelsea Gray, the floor general with ice in her veins. Jackie Young, the versatile wing who could do everything. But Hammon made them better. She installed an offensive system that was unstoppable. She emphasized defense and versatility. And most critically, she convinced them they were destined for greatness. The results were immediate. The 2022 season saw the Aces tie Chicago for the best record at 26-10. They rolled through the playoffs, destroying teams with ruthless efficiency. The finals against Connecticut went exactly as planned. 4 games, 4 wins, championship #1. Hammon became the first rookie head coach ever to win a title. Wilson finally got her ring. The $1 million investment had paid off in year 1. But winning once doesn't make you a dynasty. Repeating is where legends are born. The 2023 season brought even higher expectations. They added Candace Parker, a 2-time MVP and one of the most accomplished players ever. The Superteam was complete. They dominated the regular season with a 34-6 record, the most wins in WNBA history at that point. But August exposed some cracks. They lost to the Liberty twice. Some wondered if the pressure was getting to them. Some questioned if they could handle adversity when it mattered most. Then Parker went down with a foot injury. Their veteran leader was done for the season. The doubters got louder. But this team had something special. They had championship DNA. They had Wilson entering her prime. And they had Hammon, who knew exactly which buttons to push. The finals against New York would test everything. Game 3 saw Chelsea Gray and Kaya Stokes both go down with injuries. The Aces were suddenly without 2 starters for the championship-clinching Game 4. Most teams would fold. Most teams would make excuses. The Aces threw everything at the Liberty instead. Hammon devised defensive schemes they'd never run before. She started different lineups. She trusted her depth. Alicia Clark played lockdown defense on Brianna Stewart, holding her to just 10 points on terrible shooting. Jackie Young took over in the fourth quarter. And Wilson, she put up 24 points and 16 rebounds in the most pressure-packed game of her life. The final possession will be remembered forever. New York down 1 with 8.8 seconds left. They got the ball to Stewart, but the Aces double-teamed her immediately. The ball swung to Courtney Vandersloot in the corner. Her shot missed badly. The Aces had done it. Back-to-back champions. The first team to repeat since the Sparks over 20 years earlier. But this dynasty wasn't finished, not even close. The 2025 season started rough. Really rough. Wilson was still dominant, winning her 4th MVP award, breaking the record for most in league history. But the team struggled with chemistry. They hit 500 after that embarrassing blowout loss to Minnesota. 8th place, barely hanging on. The critics pounced. Dynasty over. Hammond's system was figured out. Time to rebuild. That's when everything changed. Wilson called a players-only meeting. She challenged everyone to look in the mirror. No more excuses. No more individual agendas. They were either going to fight together or fail separately. Hammon backed off a bit, letting the players take ownership of the team's direction. They developed their own practice plans. Wilson emerged as the vocal leader she was always meant to be. The results were stunning. Vegas ripped off 16 straight wins to close the regular season, the second longest winning streak in WNBA history. Wilson averaged 26 points and 12 rebounds during that stretch while shooting nearly 60% from 3. They climbed from 8th to 2nd seed. The turnaround was unprecedented. The playoffs brought new challenges. Seattle pushed them hard in round 1. Indiana took them to 5 games in the semifinals. But when they reached the finals against Phoenix, something felt different. This team was locked in like never before. They swept the Mercury in 4 games, the first sweep in finals history. Wilson dropped 31 in the clincher, cementing herself as finals MVP. She became the first player ever in WNBA or NBA history to win the scoring title, regular season MVP, Defensive Player of the Year, and Finals MVP in the same season. Absolute greatness. 3 championships in 4 years. The dynasty nobody saw coming had arrived. The secret wasn't just talent, though they had plenty of that. It was the culture. Mark Davis invested in the best facilities in the league, a 50,000 square foot complex with everything players could need. He paid Hammon like she deserved. He brought in Tom Brady as a minority owner, adding another championship mind to the organization. Every detail mattered. Every advantage was pursued. Hammon's coaching genius can't be overstated. She adapted game plans on the fly. She trusted her stars but held them accountable. She built schemes that maximized everyone's strengths. And when things got tough, she never panicked. Her 8 years learning under Popovich prepared her perfectly for these moments. Wilson elevated from superstar to all-time great. 4 MVPs in 8 seasons, 3 championships, 2 finals MVPs, Olympic gold medals, the best player on the planet, and she's only 29 years old. Her growth mindset and willingness to add new dimensions to her game every year makes her nearly impossible to stop. She's sitting alone on Mount Everest now, as Hammon put it. The greatest of all-time conversation isn't hypothetical anymore. The supporting cast deserves massive credit, too. Gray running the offense with surgical precision. Plum providing instant scoring punch. Young doing all the little things that win games. Role players stepping up when stars went down. Championship teams need depth, and the Aces had it in spades. But perhaps most importantly, they learned how to win ugly. The 2025 season proved they didn't need perfection. They could hit rock bottom and claw their way back. They could lose starters to injury and find ways to compensate. They could face hostile crowds and mounting pressure and still deliver when it mattered. That resilience, that championship DNA, that unbreakable bond between players and coaches, that's what separates dynasties from one-hit wonders. The Aces have etched their names in basketball history. They've joined the Houston Comets and LA Sparks as the only teams to win multiple consecutive titles. They've proven that investing in women's basketball pays off. They've shown the world what's possible when ownership commits fully to excellence. And they're not done yet. With Wilson in her prime and the core still intact, more championships could be coming. From the Utah Stars, who never won anything, to the Las Vegas Aces, who can't stop winning. From a franchise that relocated twice, searching for success, to a dynasty that defines modern basketball excellence. From doubters questioning million-dollar coaching hires to believers witnessing history. The Superteam nobody saw coming has become the measuring stick every other franchise chases. And the scary part? They might just be getting started.